Hi everyone, welcome to the 98th episode of the Zicast. As always, I'm your host Ryan Ziaks, and today I'm joined by computer science whiz Lucas Jenkins.
That's high praise. Thank you, Ryan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you.
Of course, it's a pleasure to have you, and I'd like to shout out episode 31 guest Chen for technical directing once again. So Lucas, you know what I do here, I interview people, I get to know them better, and I'm hyped to get to know more about you. So how about you kick things off by telling us a bit about yourself?
Oh, I'll give you the icebreaker. So my name is Lucas Jenkins. I am a student here at Quinnipiac University. I am a computer science BS major. I'm also a general member of Quinnipiac Tonight and Q30. So I work general crew for Quinnipiac Tonight, helping with shoots that they do, sketches, also the live shows. And for anyone that doesn't know, Quinnipiac Tonight is the school's comedy version of SNL, live in the Piazza Thursday nights at 9:15. Yeah. Subtle plug, but but yeah, that's really it. I'm from Stratford, Connecticut, so about 30 minutes away from the school, not too far.
Yeah, and that's how we know each other from Quinnipiac Tonight,
Yes.
where I used to be producer there, and we've always had a ton of fun there. But I'm curious about like your own studies, because of course Quinnipiac Tonight is sketch comedy, like entertainment, but you're interested in computer science. So kind of take us into that and like where that interest stems from.
Yeah, so that's me being in Quinnipiac Tonight is a very far difference from what I usually do. The engineering aspect of everything, even as a kid, like. You ever play with like Legos or Lincoln Logs and stuff like that? The aspect of wanting to do something engineering related was always me enjoying to build things with my own hands. I wanted to, make something that other people could see, other people could use. So the aspect of going into computer science was exactly that, but filling the need of another interest of technology. I think I've mentioned this before to you, but for other people that don't know, big tech guy, video games, computers. I love building my own things, love building my own computers. And something that computer science allows me to do is make programs for games, computers, stuff like that. So I really liked to be able to make things on my own, and that just helps me get into that aspect. And that's what I want to keep doing with my career.
Because there's a very like human need to want to build something.
Yes.
Because human beings kind of fostered their ability to have consciousness, if that makes any sense, by building things. So it makes sense to like want to be able to build and create things. And then where did like the computer kind of aspect of that come in? Was that through like things like video games?
So yeah, that was a lot of video games, but that was also from my parents. Both of them always grew up with technology. So we had like a desktop in our office area. Another example was my grandparents. They had a desktop too, and we would just always play games on them together as like a family thing. So that was another aspect of, maybe I can make these things, going back to making things. Yeah. But it's always been something that's been a shared experience that I thought, what if I just delved into that more, that aspect of my life?
Interesting. And what have you been able to do in the computer kind of science program here at school or elsewhere that's really like shaping you?
So here we learn a lot of different programming languages. For example, there's Java. I think most people know that because of Minecraft. There's JavaScript. There's C. There's C#. So we've delved into those a little bit. And from learning those languages, I've been able to make applications like websites. So like my own blog posts and stuff. Nice. I don't post them publicly, but we have made them in classes before. I've made a game as well. I don't remember what we called it. It was a group project for a class where we made it as a Pokemon-esque game where you ran around as Boomer the Bobcat and fought professors.
Really?
So that was a fun one to make. And it's been other projects like that, a lot of smaller things that haven't been as big as these, but those were probably like the bigger things that I've done.
Chicken Java. But, so that video game of like Boomer the Bobcat, of course, Quinnipiac's mascot, taking on professors. What kind of a game was that?
So that was, do you know Pokemon by chance?
Yeah.
So the regular style of Pokemon is catch a Pokemon. Yeah. They can learn moves, learn up to 4. In our game, we didn't have a catching Pokemon. You just played as Boomer, but it was a similar style of combat with Pokemon, where you'd have 3 different moves, pick which move you want to use, and then 2 health bars. Whoever gets down to 0 first loses. Okay. So it's just go through the game, go through the story of the professors. Yeah.
Were there any like specific professors, or is it just like characters?
So we did the computer science professors. So we had I don't know if people know these unless they're in the computer science department, but we had Professor Thimonere, Dr. J, Professor Blake, Professor O'Neill, all the professors that we all knew
Yeah.
in the comp sci program. It was like our little inside joke of, we know these people, you're fighting them. So
I'm sure they appreciated that.
they did have a little bit of a laugh with it.
So you were able to kind of go back to like the roots of like video games. Like, where do you kind of see yourself going in computer science?
So in computer science, the work that I've done outside of school has been IT related, information technology. So it's been a lot of me working on hardware, and I'd like to keep doing that more. But also, if I can at some points, I think the programming aspect of it has kind of been a side hobby as well. So if I can incorporate that into my real career, I'd love to do that still. But it's a lot of the hardware too. That's been like my main thing right now.
How is that career as like in terms of stability, being able to work in IT and things like that?
I don't think it's the most stable thing. As in, like, to get into the job or the career, a lot of people hear like there's a trope of computer science students not getting a job right out of college, and that takes a while because there's long interview processes and finding the job actually takes a long time. So getting there will take a little bit of work, and I know that, and I knew that going into it.
Yeah.
But I think once you get into it, it's pretty. You can kind of just coast with it. Obviously, you need to keep up with the times, but I think you can coast with it well. It's a good enough job where I think I can make a good, lasting career out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a lot of jobs nowadays where it's like it's hard to find a job directly out of school, much like entertainment.
Yes.
Which takes us well into Quinnipiac Tonight and your work there. You mentioned being a crew member. Kind of what has that meant to you and kind of where that all started?
So it started randomly one night with, at the time, Aaron Epstein, the executive producer, last year. We were sitting in our room, actually our bathroom. We were having a late night conversation. And he goes...
In the boys' room.
In the boys' room, yeah. And we're sitting in the bathroom, and he's like, hey, you should do this with us. We don't see you a lot, which is true, because at the time, you know, I have my own classes. He's a film, media, and television major. So our classes are not the same at all.
Yeah.
And they're very spread out, so we never see each other. So we're like, why don't you do this? Your other suite mates are doing it. They're all a part of Q30. You can become friends with all of our friends. I was like, sure. Why not? It took a lot more convincing than me just saying sure, but we did it. And now we've been in the club for a year and a half. This season just finished, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work on. I've met so many great people, met so many new creative minds. I mean, that's how we met through Quinnipiac Tonight as well. So just seeing all these people being creative and doing what they want to do and starting their careers off there has been awesome to see.
Do you have any specific favorite memories or moments that you'd want to share?
I think recording, you were a part of it, so you know what I'm going to be talking about. Secret Wars for Bobcat Boy.
Yes.
For anyone that doesn't know, for season 11, Bobcat Boy has been an ongoing bit with multiple sketches relating to this one character, Bobcat Boy, played by Anthony Icardi. Absolutely great actor. It's like that. And
it's like that.
It's like that. And we've been taking this idea of just what if we made our own cinematic universe with it. And Ben Wallen, the associate producer who's been making it, has been doing an absolutely incredible job with it. And just seeing it all come together in that final episode was amazing to me. Like, what did you think of like being in it as well?
Fittingly enough, I recently had Ben Wallen on here where we discussed it, so thankfully we were able to get into it then, and then we could bring it up now. It was so cool seeing him develop that and it become like a cult classic amongst our niche fandom at Quinnipiac Tonight, and to see him be able to do that. But of course it's like a celebration of the club itself because it's bringing back all of these characters, including myself, and just having us have this just goofy, like it's like the ultimate Quinnipiac Tonight sketch, but also just a celebration of what the actual club is, which is something I really appreciated.
I think that he did such a good job with just bringing that all together. Because I'm going to be honest, in the beginning, I had my doubts of, all right, can we keep this one bit going?
Yeah.
But hearing the audience's reactions, you were at the shows too. People loved it. I was like, we have something with this. Wallen is doing something with this, and we can take it. And I'm so proud of the work that everybody did in that, because it was an entirely like huge team effort to do. And just seeing all these people, especially friends, people that I can call friends now, come together for this one thing, it was amazing to see.
Yeah. And of course, Lucas, you've always been a trooper with helping us out, and it's always fun like having you on the set.
I appreciate that.
And we appreciate you just being there to help out, because you always need those like stable, to bring that word up again, crew members who are just there to kind of help the process all go. But speaking of a process going, you're also a WWE fan, or we're both big WWE fans. So I'm curious where that started.
So that also started with my parents. My father, when he was younger, was also a big WWF, fan at the time as well. So that was something that like he would bring up every now and then, just like little minor jokes about it. So it was always fun just seeing him talking about it. But I didn't get it because I didn't watch it at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, let me watch it. Let me watch it with a couple friends. And we just fell in love with it. It was something that our friends and I'm sure you would do the same, try and recreate the moves, do them to friends in the most unsafe way possible.
Yes.
Like they say, don't do this at home.
Yeah.
No one ever. We're going to do it at home. There's no need to tell us to not. But it was just like an event that we can all come together to watch, especially every month when they do their paid live events.
Exactly.
It's a big thing that, what we've been watching for the past month has been just culminating to this, and it's another big story that we can watch.
Yeah. Do you have any, like I mentioned with Quinnipiac Tonight, like any favorite like wrestling moments or memories you have?
I remember watching WrestleMania 31, the heist of the century.
Yes.
You know what I'm referring to? Yeah. So that was, for people that don't know, it was two wrestlers, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. For people outside of wrestling, it sounds so weird.
Yes.
Those two names. And they have a contract called the Money in the Bank briefcase, where at the time, wrestler Seth Rollins had it.
Yeah.
And he comes running out, gives the briefcase to the ref, makes it a match between the three of them, and takes the title. And it was such good storytelling. It was the actual clip is so good.
Yeah.
The writing of it is insane. And it's something like what people call wrestling fake, but there's still the story aspect behind it. And they're still actually like fighting.
Yeah.
Big air quotes, but I think people understand.
I'd like to think the discourse around wrestling is more nuanced nowadays. A lot of people used to be like, oh, it's fake. But like TV and movies are fake.
Fake, yeah.
They're scripted. And wrestling, I always say it's like theater for buff people. It's meant to be athletic. Oh, it's basically just mixing athletics and theater and storytelling and writing, and then putting it on these like big stages will also blends things like fashion, especially for Seth Rollins.
Yes, fashion is
because he's always has crazy fits, and that's something I've always appreciated about wrestling, is that it combined. It's almost like peak entertainment when done well. I don't know if you agree.
I wholeheartedly agree, especially if we go back to WrestleMania the other month. Of again these stories coming together, and especially night one, the main event, where it was three wrestlers again, and the story that they had, because it wasn't just supposed to be a match, it was supposed to be a story as well, and they took that story and they went with it. And it was so good.
You're referring to Roman Reigns versus Seth
Rollins and
versus
CM Punk with Paul Heyman in CM Punk's corner, switching sides multiple times, which was again so good. Such a good way to just wrap it all up, but they're still going with it. Do you still like actively follow it now, even after WrestleMania?
I keep up with what's going on. I'm not able to watch like every Raw or SmackDown, but I make sure. That's another with social media being so big, that's like easy to keep up with the happenings. So I just keep up with the storylines, and then I try to watch every PLE I can. And that's where I'm like in tune, and I'm always locked in. But I'm locked in a lot of big storylines, like currently with like John Cena and his farewell tour. Like I'm honed in on that.
I think for me, it's just the paid events. Like once those happen every month, that's when I'm like in it. And then it's like right after it happens, okay, fall out for a little bit, come back into it for like the week before the next one. And then go from there. That's usually how the schedule goes. And then once it gets around WrestleMania, we're all in.
Exactly.
For like the next month or two after Royal Rumble, we're all in.
Especially when the build-up is really, really good, which can happen sometimes. That's what legitimately would get me to tune in to a Raw. Like when John Cena and Cody Rhodes were having their promos against each other, I had to tune in. I had to watch that. And then that's when Yeah, kind of like we talked about when the build-up gets really, really strong.
Yeah.
But to continue building up this episode of the Zicast, Lucas, I was going to ask you, what are some things people might not know about you, like fun facts?
Oh, wow. Fun fact, man, I got to dig deep for this one, I feel like. I'll give you the one that I usually tell people for like 2 truths, 1 lie that people don't usually get. I am named after a movie character, right? And you're going to be able to get it right away when I say Star Wars.
Oh.
And I thought my parents were joking about that at first. Because I used to say as a joke to people, be like, yeah, I'm named after Luke Skywalker.
Huh.
I didn't think that was real at the time. And then I said it in front of my parents. I was like, am I named after Luke Skywalker? And they're like, funnily enough, you are.
Huh.
I went, oh. It's like this entire joke that I've been saying has been real this entire time. And it's just so weird that it's Star Wars of all things. But it works. It's a fun fact to bring up every now and then. But other than that, that's...
George Lucas Jenkins.
I wish. Actually, no, I don't wish. I'm perfectly content with my name now.
That's interesting. You do kind of look like Mark Hamill a little bit.
The young Mark Hamill?
Yeah, young, especially in the hair. I will admit, when I first saw you, I thought you. My first thing that came to my head was, oh, he looks like Paul Dano.
I'd have to see a picture of him.
He played the Riddler in the new Batman movie.
Oh, you're so right.
And
oh no, that
fitting,
is him.
because you have green on right now.
I was going back to previous episodes, watching just to like get a feel of what we were talking about, this and that. And episode 40 with JJ Tafuto.
Yeah.
When you talked about the Deep.
Yeah.
And how he got so upset when you said that he looked like the Deep. I have been called Paul Dano. I forgot his name. That's why I forgot who he was for a second. But people have said that so many times. Like, man, I won't lash out like JJ would for the Deep. But I completely forgot that people used to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten Homelander so many times since I can't even tell you when. That I know the feeling of being constantly compared to a celebrity. Now I'm getting John Walker from Thunderbolts.
Oh, that's not a bad one.
That's not. They're not bad ones, but yeah, it's like I was telling some people recently. I always get like compared to like the creepy like serial killer looking guys. Homelander. People say I look like Dexter. People say I look like John Walker.
I'd say more like Butcher because of the
and
Hawaiian
Butcher,
shirts.
Yeah. So I'm kind of blending all the characters from The Boys. But yeah, to continue onwards, I'd like to ask you now, Lucas, what's one thing you love and one thing you strongly dislike?
One thing I love and one thing I strongly dislike. Boy, gotta go
just
back
in general
and
too, yeah.
So I think one thing I love that I think I don't show people enough is my appreciation for others. That's a very broad thing, but it's what is it? I feel like you just need to always tell people how much you appreciate them, this and that, and it always extends to like what other people say too. Like just showing appreciation is nice. Yeah, that's something that I love to do every now and then, but I feel like I don't do it enough in some cases. One thing that I dislike though, how broad should I go? Like super broad? Should I just be really specific? We can just leave it at peanut butter.
You don't like peanut
butter? I
butter?
Like peanut butter. I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to my mind, but I despise peanut butter for some reason. I don't know why.
A bad memory with it, or
nope.
Allergy as a kid?
No, not at all. Just I don't like peanut butter. I don't know why. Just don't like it.
Yeah, we all have that one food that we just say no to.
Yes.
And that's peanut butter for you. So you hope you don't have peanut butter. What are some of your hopes and dreams professionally or in general?
Hopes and dreams professionally? Well, get a job. Yeah, that's the main one. That
would be ideal.
And just, I mean, kind of the greedy thing to say, but like have an income.
Yeah.
Right? That's the goal. Have a nice house, this and that. Like, I don't know, start a family, whatever. That's a lot of people's dreams for their careers. But to go more into like what I would want, I don't want to be boxed into, all right, just engineering. That's all I have to do. I want to be able to branch out and do things. Like, I'll go to an example from my internship that I did. I did an internship with the Aquarion Water Company, which is a local water company to Connecticut, mainly Fairfield County, so like the county over from where we are in New Haven County. They would have me they'd have me work on hardware, but they'd also have me do like, I don't want to call it custodial work, but like setting up venues to have meetings at, just talking to other people about things. So it's not like I'm boxed into one thing there. They have me doing a lot of different things. And that's what I really like with with that internship, that it's not just one thing, it's a lot of different things. And I want to be able to do the same in the future. I don't want to be boxed into one thing. I want to try a lot of new things. I mean, like outside of careers, like, I don't know, people like to learn languages. They like to just learn other hobbies, have other hobbies, do other things. And that's what I want to be able to do with my career as well.
Yeah. And let's not box us into this one question. And I'll ask you the next one,
Yes.
which is, what are some of your favorite movies?
Favorite movies. First one to come to mind, Back to the Future. There's something about Back to the Future that's just, I don't know, it's the story of Marty McFly going back to essentially save his parents' marriage, which is so funny to me as a concept.
Yeah.
But then the other movies, 2 and 3 as well, just playing the same thing of, all right, we're going to the past into the future, then even further into the past with the Western. There's always been something with those movies that has just sat with me, like, those are really fun. Those are fun movies to watch every now and then. The other movies, I feel like I had to say it because of Star Wars, but
Yeah.
that has to be the obligatory drop. Something with Star Wars movies, space movies, anything action related is always fun. What are your favorite movies though on top of that?
What are mine? Yeah, here's my usual, The Dark Knight, La La Land, The Place Beyond the Pines, and Jerry Maguire.
I forgot about La La Land.
Yes.
La La Land is so good.
Yeah, that's my usual top 4, but like many people, it fluctuates based upon my mood or something else I see or rethinking something. But kind of a similar thing. Like, I always love my action movies.
Yeah.
I always love my my dramas, like stylized films and things like that.
Yeah.
But overall, Lucas, I really liked this episode of the Zicast. So I'd like to thank you for coming on, and I'd like to ask you if you have any motivational words or plugs or anything you want to leave the audience with.
Oh, motivational words. I won't plug anything. I don't really have anything to plug, but motivational words. Just be yourself. That's it. Just do you. Simple as that. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it nice and short. Just be yourself. That's
Perfect,
it.
Lucas. And overall, it's always been really fun to work with you. Like, even though I haven't been able to see you as much recently as of this recording because I haven't been as involved with Quinnipiac Tonight, every time I see you, we always have a pleasant conversation that I think back on like, oh, that was nice.
Yes, I absolutely love when we get to see each other, spend a little bit of time together, talk about WWE, which I don't know for you, not a lot of people like to talk about that. So just being able to have those conversations is always great.
Yeah, like I remember right after John Cena turned heel, one of the first people, I'm like, I have to see what Lucas thinks of this. And the next time we saw each other, we talked about that. And it's always fun. Yeah, like I said, just working with you, being around you. And we all appreciate what you're able to do for Quinnipiac Tonight, especially since you're not in the entertainment field and you're in a field that goes way over my head of computer science. And I'm very excited to see what you'll do in that, how you'll keep helping out the club, and just what you keep doing in general. So thank you, Lucas.
I always appreciate that. Thank you, Ryan.
Of course. And as always, this is Ryan Ziaks with the Zicast, where everyone has a story, signing off. Thank you so much for watching.